Welcome to the Optimal Truth Network. Here we are dedicated to bringing you relevant and timely information. Our culture is ever-changing. With that, we face challenges which are vast and complex. Amid the chaos, we hope to be a calming and rational resource for you and your family. To stay tuned to the Optimal Truth Network, visit us at baldwincounty.sra.org and subscribe to our email newsletter. Again, that's baldwincounty.sra.org. Simply provide your name and email and get the latest and most relevant information. Thank you for joining us. Now, enjoy this latest discussion from our Optimal Truth host, Jason Mann.
Our culture is at a tipping point. The pot on the stove is about to boil over. Now, we can either turn down the burner or we can wait to clean up the mess. But either way, it's time for us to act on the situation at hand. We're the guardians. We're the vanguard for the next generation. That's why Optimal Truth is here. Now, you're probably just getting introduced to the Optimal Truth Network formally for the very first time. But we've actually been here in the county for 3 decades. 3 decades we've been quietly serving in the background, teaching a sexual risk avoidance program to the students in Baldwin County. Since 1995, we have presented sexual risk avoidance education to over 120,000 students. So you may be asking, what is Optimal Truth? Optimal Truth as an organization, like I said, we primarily serve in the schools as an education resource for parents and students. As a message, we actually seek optimal outcomes for life. So what does that mean? That means what's the best outcome? And in order to achieve the best outcome, we know that we need to operate in truth. And we're not talking about relative truth or subjective truth. We're talking about cold, hard fact and settled science. And the only way that we can truly pursue what is optimal is by operating in that kind of truth. To narrow down what optimal truth is in a nutshell, we are a primary prevention, optimal and holistic health risk avoidance network. We are a network of programs, educators, volunteers, organizations, and classrooms across this county that's seeking to help parents and students flourish in their life, both now and in the future. The message of primary prevention is simple. It means we want to prevent so we don't have to intervene. We as a community have so many intervention efforts when it comes to the lives of those that are struggling. And we know primary prevention can keep us from having to perform intervention. When we think about the primary prevention message of teens and smoking, we have proof that it works. From the beginnings of the messaging towards teens about the risk of smoking, it has been a nationwide community effort where we've combined our energies to help teens understand the risk and the dangers associated with smoking. And we have seen a steady decline in teen smoking ever since we started this campaign. So we know primary prevention messaging works. And since we know it works, then I think we're obligated to apply that same public health message to all aspects of a teen's life, not just when it comes to smoking. If we can decrease lung cancer with a nationwide broadcast of the health risk of smoking, then we can do the same thing with all aspects of teens and their health and well-being. When it comes to risk avoidance, we know teens are risk takers. Young adults are risk takers, but oftentimes those risky choices have negative impacts and outcomes. Now, when Optimal Truth is in the classroom, we specialize in helping teens understand the downside of reckless and risky sexual lifestyles. But when our youth embrace risky lifestyles in any form, we know it's typically a package deal. Rarely are sexually active teens just involved in only that risky behavior. We know alcohol gets involved. We know drugs get involved. We know substance abuse of many kinds gets involved. We also know that it's just a broad social aspect of risky behaviors like casual hookups and things like that. It's typically a package deal. There is a correlation when it comes to risk behaviors. And the downside of sexually risky lifestyles and their correlation to other risky behaviors is broad in the impacts that it has. It's the impacts that we see of depression, anxiety, mental trauma, rape and assault, dating violence, disease, infections, unplanned pregnancies, poor relationship concepts, rampant porn use, the pervasive vulgarity amongst our youth, single parent homes, cohabitation homes, fatherless homes. All of these are connected to risky lifestyle habits. When it comes to holistic and optimal health, what we need to think about is a cultural reset. What do I mean by that? Well, first, I think we deserve better. I think our kids deserve better. Now, according to Alabama's health education standards for school-aged youth, they specifically cover 6 dimensions of health: physical, emotional, mental, social, spiritual, and intellectual. Now, there's many more dimensions of health that we can cover, but those are the 6 that Alabama definitely addresses in their health education standards. Now, these dimensions of health, they are a network of human dimensions that our youth are having to deal with. They're having to learn to cope and be resilient, because when one dimension of a person's health is negatively affected, it affects every dimension of their health. And so this holistic, optimal health approach is meant to address every area of their health and help them understand the correlation of risky behaviors and how it affects their overall health and well-being. There's good, there's better, and then there's the best. And so what is optimal for us, for our youth, it's what's best. And that's what we're after. We want what's best for our children. And so we owe it to them to figure out what's best, to seek out that truth, and then help our kids find that route in life. Our school programs, they seek to educate, equip, and empower our youth. We want them to embrace self-efficacy. We want them to become future-focused when it comes to their goals in life. We want them to experience a flourishing life so that they can thrive both now and in the future. Now, this network of messaging is not just for youth. These resources are also meant to engage and enlighten and embolden you. Whoever you may be, whatever role that you may play, parent, guardian, teacher, coach, whatever role that you play, we want you to be empowered to be the loudest voice in their life. We also want you to know that here at Optimal Truth, this is not a political endeavor. That doesn't mean that we won't be informed on public policies and how they shape our culture. And it doesn't mean we won't be involved in endeavors that help shape public policy. Virtue jurisprudence dictates that we should be involved in legislative efforts in helping set guidelines and boundaries for the future of our kids. We ultimately want to just bring you the facts, the data, the research, the truth that helps us discover what's optimal and pursue it to no ends. Our youth, they have infinite and worldwide access to influences of all kinds and varieties. And it's at their fingertips. All they have to do is pick up a device. But our intent is to help you be the loudest voice, the best voice, and the strongest voice that helps them pursue what is optimal for their overall health and well-being. And I know that's the type of influence we really need in this time in our culture and at the tipping point. We want to turn down the burner. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the near future.
We hope you not only enjoyed this episode, but more importantly, we hope you were able to get some critical information takeaways. Please give us some feedback and send us your questions. As a community, we rely upon all of you to refine our message. Give us a like, share our content with your friends and family, and be sure to subscribe to our network. Thanks for tuning in into Optimal Truth.